Hi guys, JoAnn Anthony here, and I thought that I would come on live and speak with you for a little bit about some of the differences in the materials that you may have and that you may be using. Okay, so in this live, I'm going to be decorating some Saints football cookies. So these cookies are for a very special young man, and his favorite football team is the Saints. So I'm going to be decorating some Saints cookies. I shared a video yesterday where I flooded a baseball cap, and so we're going to finish that baseball cap and start decorating the rest of the cookies. So as you come on, I would love it if you could say something so that I know that you are here with me, and we can go ahead and get started. So what I have in front of me now is I have 3 bags of icing. Now these are detail consistency icing, which means that when I disturb the surface and touch my spatula to the surface and pull it up, I get a soft peak. That's what a detail consistency icing is. I like to use detail consistencies when I'm doing things like writing or any details, because I need it to flow with me. The only time that you would use a really stiff consistency is if you were doing like florals or anything like that, that you wanted to maintain the shape of the tip, whatever tip it is that you're using. So these bags are detail bags, which means that they are a little thicker, as you can tell by just the way it ruffles. These bags are a little thicker than what you would see with your regular flood bags. So here's some black, and this is the flood bags that I use. And so you can tell just by listening to or even looking at the differences. You can tell that it is a different thickness in the bags. Okay, so this bag here is the bag that I use to flood, and this is a master's bag. I want you to notice that this bag is pretty lightweight. It's easy to use. It crinkles very easily. But another thing I want you to notice is this seam right here. This is the only seam in the bag, and that is really important because once you start flooding, you'll be able to cut this bag, of course, perpendicular to the seam, and then just go ahead and squeeze. And now this bag, depending on how big you cut it, is going to resemble a circle just like this. This is a PME 1.5 tip, and you see it has a really small hole for the circle. So that's where once you would cut this bag, once you would cut this tip, the tip off this bag perpendicular to that seam, then is going to be as close to a circle as possible. And so that's the beauty of using tipless bags, is because you can control the tip size, one, and because it'll be a lot easier for you to you know, go ahead and get a straight circle, as straight of a circle as possible. Now with my detail bags, I would do the same thing. Notice that my detail bag only has one seam as well, this seam here. And so when I cut my detail bag, I would cut it perpendicular to that seam also. Okay, so I just cut perpendicular to that seam, and then that's going to resemble a circle. Now the beauty of this is that if I ever needed to pop this into another bag and maybe use a tip or something like that, I can. And so that's the beauty of it. So the 3 colors that I have here are gold, and these are AmeriColor colors. I have gold, I have of course white, and I have black. So alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'll go ahead and cut this seam here with my scissors, and I'm cutting this perpendicular to the I'm going to cut my bag perpendicular to the seam right across that line. Okay, and so when I decorate, I always have a little napkin in front of me. Okay, now one of the things that I also do is I need you to massage this bag all the way through before you start to decorating. Okay, because what happens is if you just let the bag sit out, depending on how much humidity is in the air, it is going to start to separate, and so all your liquids are going to start to separate. So we just need to go ahead and massage this bag all the way through. And okay, so I got this bag really on the small side. And so as you come on, I would love it if you could say a little something to let me know that you are here. And let's go ahead and get started. So I want this to be like stitching going across my baseball cap here. And so I'm going to go ahead and add this stitching across here. Okay. Now, what I want to do as well is I made a little outline for myself. So I'll go ahead and pull this up. And let me ask, how are you ladies doing with the whole COVID-19 scare? How are you doing with that? I'll be honest with you, my way of coping, if you will, is I love decorating. Decorating is very therapeutic for me. And so that's what I am doing. I am, I'll be sharing a lot more ideas and things for you in my, on my blog. So one of the projects that I've been working on during this time is to completely build out Smart Cookie U. It's my new website. You guys are probably familiar with the Cakeway as my website, but I have decided to separate the cookie side of it from the recipe side of it. And that is because oh, hi, Rochelle. Oh, you're a newbie. Awesome, awesome. So I have a ton of resources for newbies. And thank you so much for joining me from Georgia. That is awesome. So I have a ton of resources for newbies. I was just saying that I'm in the process of splitting up my websites. So my two websites are thecakeway.com and I have smartcookieu.com. And so I'm in the process of splitting up those websites. And so what that is going to do is to give you one central place that you can find everything related to cookies. And so it will be kind of buried among the recipes and things that I have there as well, so it'll be a little easier to find. Okay, so you guys may be wondering, how did I get this image here? So what I did, I have my, let me see if I can pull my camera up for you to see it. I'm gonna pan up for a minute to show you the setup, okay? So, okay, you may be able to see it here. This is my Pico projector. So I use my Pico projector to project an image onto this cookie here, okay? And then once I got the image projected on, then all I did was just once I had the image projected on, then all I did was just go ahead and trace it, and I traced it using this pen here. So this is my Sweet Sugar Belle. This particular pen is going to write in this brown color or beige, and I have another one which is a Baker pen, and this pen writes in black. So this pen would be perfect for if you just wanted to draw or doodle on your cookies once you flooded it. That is where this pen would come in handy. However, if you just wanted to use just something to get the image down, then you would use the other pen. So I was able to, I'm gonna pull this back down, make sure that I'm in frame. And unfortunately, my battery is not, it's not very good right now, so I hope that it doesn't die on me. So what I'm going to do now is, I have some gold, and I've already outlined where I wanted to flood. I'm just going to go ahead and flood this little fleur-de-lis in gold. And then once I'm done with this, once this crusts over and dries for me, then I'll come back and I'll paint over it with gold. And so this is my gold powder in my container, and this is my loose gold powder, so I'll be using this. So I have a ton of resources and things for newbies, Rochelle, so thank you so much for joining me. And there's a lot more that of course once I finish building out that website, I'll be posting a little bit more about it. My goal is to get it up and running. I mean, it's operational now if you wanted to take a look at it, but my goal is to get it, to get more of it ready to go so that you can just, you know, go in and click and see what's available and what tools there are for you to use. So I'm super excited. Yeah, it's a smartcookieyou.com. I'll type it into the comments here if I can. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this cookie here, but I'm going to do it with my black. So I'm going to do the outlining and everything else. I'm so excited for this because once this dries, I'll get to come back over and paint this gold with my very, very fine brush. You see how tiny this brush is? So I'm going to go ahead and use my gold to go ahead and paint over the fleur-de-lis. Yeah, it's Saints. So these cookies are for my nephew, and he is an avid Saints fan. He loved the Saints, and so we are decorating Saints cookies. So there's more to it, of course. I'll show you guys some more of the cookies. Let's go ahead and get the stitching down on this. I think that the white with the black stitching is going to be so pretty. So the colors of the saints are so they're really really pretty. I love the colors. I love the you know what, I love to be able to use the gold. I think it just like enhances your design and makes it like sparkle. And so I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to go ahead and add my stitching across the top. And remember, this is a detail consistency icing. And now I'm going to go ahead and make my seam. Okay, now what I want to do is do the same thing here, and I'll go ahead and do this in gold because then I'm going to come back and paint over this and then outline it again. Okay. How do you start off when you're planning a cookie theme? Okay, so Rochelle, a lot of the what I usually do is I like to try and figure out like what my inspiration is. So I'll like either go to Pinterest or go to Google and just kind of look around at some of the you know, I may say, okay, he wants saints, so let's see, I can do a football cookie, I can do a jersey, things like that. And I'll just kind of take a look around and see what I can do and get an idea. What I usually do after that is I draw the shape out on a piece of paper, and I'll kind of like doodle on the inside of that just to get an idea of the colors that I'll use and how I'll do the decorating. So that's usually the second step. And then what I'll do after that is I'll go ahead and pick out the shapes that I'll be doing, and then I'll start to decorating. So I'll show you the shapes that I am using today. So I have the fleur-de-lis here. I flooded this yesterday, but I'm going to come back and of course add some more embellishments to this, and come across this, add some white into here, do my outlining, and you know, just pretty it up a little bit more. So I have that. I have a jersey that I'll be adding on to as well, and then of course I have the helmets. So I'll need to add like the little mouth guard part to the helmet, and I'll probably add another fleur-de-lis here. Maybe write saints or something across the top. So I'll do that with this. And then I have a few cookies as well. So, and maybe I can go ahead and do the cookies now. I'm sorry, do the footballs now. I sure hope that my battery holds up. So that's usually what I'll do, Rochelle. When I get started, I am very first off trying to figure out what I'm going to decorate and how I'm going to decorate it. So that's usually the first step for me. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some cross stitches here. So, okay, when it comes to detail consistency, I usually, I don't count, but if I had to add a number to it or give a number to it, I would say that this is more of, I don't know, I haven't counted in so long. I don't know, maybe 25 or so. What you want with the detail consistency, what I do is I look for the look of it, okay? With your flood consistency, of course, you're going to disturb the surface of it and look to see how long it takes for it to settle back down. So that will be how you determine your flood. When I am choosing a good detail consistency, I'm choosing something that I can pull up, and if it falls back down into a soft peak, then that's what I want. And so that's how I choose a detail consistency, is I look to see that it can fall back over into a soft peak. I hope that was helpful for you. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here and round this out to make the football lines. Okay. So, Rochelle, there is more help, especially when it comes to your consistencies. If you head over to my website and take a look there, you're going to find more help with determining your consistencies. Okay, so now after this, I'm just going to take this and I'll probably like add a little happy birthday or something and do something with gold on here. But that's for the most part it for that cookie. So the rest of these cookies I'm going to go ahead and work on off of the camera, because unfortunately my phone is less than 10%, and I think it's going to die on me really soon. But I will take pictures of these cookies once they're done, and of course post them up on the Facebook page for you. And I'll also be sharing with you some my website once I get everything together for you. Alrighty, so thank you so much for joining me today, guys. God bless you all, and happy decorating.